actually started to rain, and honestly, you look amazing. But I was like, God, thank God you've said, because I was starting to think you didn't like it. It was just like, how is this reality? Like, how is this real life? It was like we were living in a dream. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another video. Tonight's video is going to be a wedding debrief, so I'm going to talk all things about my wedding. If you've not watched the wedding video and not been really following my channel and you're new here, I would sort of say go and watch previous videos to understand where my wedding was, because otherwise this video won't make a lot of sense. I did this sort of debrief video idea after my hen party, and actually it got a really great response and people probably want to know all the details and stuff, so I thought I'd do the same but for the wedding. So if you're interested in this video, then let's get on with it. I just want to quickly apologise because my hair is really getting on my nerves today. It's just not really sitting very well. So I've just sort of faffed on with it and left it. So if I play with it a lot, just ignore me because it's really getting on my nerves. But I thought I would just do this video because on my channel, obviously the last few videos have been all things wedding related, and in my vlogs all I've talked about, well not all I've talked about, but I've talked a lot about my wedding. And I didn't really, in the past 3 vlogs, like the wedding vlog, Venice vlog and Milan vlog, I didn't really like talk about the wedding too much because honestly I really don't actually think I had the words for like how to describe it. Not even sure I still do, but it actually has been, today is Thursday and it's been 5 weeks today since the wedding, and honestly like I can't even say how it feels. I think it's sunk in a little bit more now that like what we've done, and everything was amazing. But I'm gonna rewind 5 weeks ago and I'll talk you through sort of the night before the wedding and the wedding. So if you didn't know, we got married in Italy and we got married in Florence, and the hotel we got married at was called the Villa Cora. A little bit of a backstory was me and Jake had never been to that hotel. We'd been to Florence and knew that we loved Florence as a city, and we always said when we got married it would be in Italy. Like we always thought that that would be where we would get married. We didn't know exactly where, like we had no specific sort of place, we just knew it would be Italy. So we booked the wedding venue online, hadn't been, and they did obviously say we could go over and do like a food tasting situation, but we never did and we never got round to it. So when we got there on the 15th of August, which was last month, we got there in a taxi, and honestly the hotel was just everything that the pictures show, but and more. The venue was absolutely out of this world. I can't even explain how fabulous the venue slash hotel was, because everyone was asking me like, did you hire that all of that venue to yourself? No, it is a hotel. So there was other guests there. That was quite a, like, people were actually asking me that a lot, and I was like, oh no, like there was hotel guests but not many, because it's quite an exclusive, like it's quite expensive to stay there, so it's not like really populated. It was a lot of our guests were the wedding guests were the hotel guests, but there was a few like others. Anyway, so we had a little look round and just took it all in that day, and then just like got on with it. You'll have seen the vlog, you've seen what we did. We just went out for some food that night and just had like a chilled one. And then the night before the wedding would organise, it was my idea, this part was to organise like a drinks meet-up to sort of get all the guests together, because actually we had like 55 people coming, and to be fair with that, if we hadn't met up with everyone the night before the wedding, it would have been the wedding day. They were like, we also just wanted to see everyone the night before, so we organised a drinks reception, which again was on the vlog, at a place called Angel Rooftop, which was in the city centre of Florence, and it's actually a hotel. So it's a hotel but it has this like gorgeous rooftop, and that was the best thing we did, like in terms of getting everyone together, because we got to greet everyone. People had just flown in that day, the day before, and it was just so nice to see everyone. And honestly, that night I didn't see Jake for longer, I don't think, than like 10 minutes, because we were both just mingling and just like welcoming everyone, and just, it was amazing. And I actually didn't have a single drink that night. I just had sparkling water all night, because I just didn't want to feel at all hungover. And like also when I have a drink, sometimes my face gets really swollen, so I was like, I don't want to drink because I just want to feel fresh the next day. Obviously it was my wedding, the day I've dreamed of forever, so I was like, I can't drink, I can't even, because as well with me, once I've had one, I'm like, oh, I'll be fine if I have another, and then it's, you know, So I didn't drink. Jake did have a few drinks, and anyway, we went back to the hotel and sorted our room out because Jake was going to stay with my dad and my mum was coming to stay with me the night before the wedding. So Jake actually ended up going back out that night just for like another couple of drinks because everyone was like, Jake, you're so boring, come back out, you're getting married tomorrow. And they were all like joking, saying I wasn't letting him go out, but I actually didn't mind. I just wanted him to sort the room and get all of his stuff so that he didn't have to come back to the room, if that makes sense. So he went back out with our brother-in-law, and then I just literally had to steam my dress, my wedding dress, which took like, honestly, like 2 hours. I don't think I went to sleep until like 12:30 or something because the dress took ages to steam. I followed all the instructions of what the dress shop said, and they told me to take it out of the box when I got to Florence, which I did, and hung it up, but it did need steaming, but my dress was steamable, so it was absolutely fine. So I did that, and with my sister-in-law actually, and then my mum came to the room and we literally just like chatted for a little bit, and it was really surreal. Like my mum kept saying like, I can't believe it's tomorrow, and I was like, neither can I, but it was also like I just enjoyed every single second of it. So then we woke up the next day, and obviously it was the wedding morning, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually did feel really nervous. Everyone's question was, were you super nervous? And that was the only point of the day that I actually felt nervous, when I woke, like straight away when I woke up. But then we went for breakfast, me, my mum, and one of my bridesmaids, Rosie's also my best friend. We went for breakfast in the hotel, and like Rosie's parents were there, they came and chatted, some other family friends were there, and we all just like chatted, and it was really nice to see everyone. But as soon as I had a coffee that morning, I felt absolutely fine, and I was like, oh, this is it, I feel good. I actually had 2 coffees, I think, and I felt good. And then obviously on the day, we just sort of, the timings of the day was everyone with like the hair and makeup, also my friends, and my other 2 bridesmaids were arriving at like 9:30. So we had breakfast, then they all started arriving, and then we just got into it. Like we just started getting ready, and crazy because actually it does go like, it goes really quick, and it didn't on the day, but when you look back, I'm like, how did it go so quick? But we just got ready. I ordered some lunch. We had like pizzas, and then I don't think I had my first glass of Prosecco until about 2 o'clock. I think it was like 2:30. And then obviously we weren't due to get, actually that could have been, I think it was later I had my first drink, not that it matters, but I was just trying to think. And like we opened cards, prezzies, just like listen to good music. And yeah, it was just fab. Also, when I had my hair and makeup done, my last thing to do before my hair was getting taken out, because I had it down, but it was in like pins. Again, if you've seen the vlog, you'll know. I had like a cold bath, and honestly, it was so refreshing. So before I got my dress on, I had like a really cold bath, which was just so nice. And then basically at 4 o'clock, actually, I think it was earlier, I think at about 3 o'clock, it actually started to rain. And honestly, I can hand on my heart say I didn't once feel stressed. I was just like, what can I actually do? And everyone was like, did you feel stressed at that point? I was like, honestly, no, because what can you do? I can't change the weather. I knew there was a backup plan if it carried on rain and they would have to just get married inside, which I didn't want to do. But also I was like, what can you do? Nothing. So I said to the girls, I was like, right, put that song on when it goes, it's like rain on your wedding day. I can't remember the name of it. And slash, that was weird singing. Sorry if I just give you the ick, but I just needed you to know which song it was. And we put it on, and I danced to that, and honestly, I didn't even care. And then all like, my hairdresser, my friend Demi, who did my hair, was like, oh, it stopped. And then my other friend was like, no, it hasn't. But obviously Demi was just trying to make me feel better, and Rosie, one of my bridesmaids, was like, no, it hasn't. But I think they were trying to calm me down, but I felt pretty calm about it because I just thought, well, what can I really do? Anyway, fast forward to like 4 o'clock, I got into my dress, and that is always the part. I do wedding makeups, so I've been a part of a lot of wedding mornings, and I do know that last hour, the final hour, just goes so quick, and it's like, like crazy. So I got into my dress, we had some photos, like we did the reveal with my dad, and honestly, it was so emotional. But then it was really nice because we'd got the emotional bit out of it, but then the lady who was organising the wedding was like, look, we need to hold off for 20 minutes, there's another cloud coming, we don't want it to rain, let's just let this cloud pass and then we'll get on with the wedding. So we actually ended up getting married, I think, at about 5 maybe, and it was obviously meant to be 5, it might have been 20 past, I can't really remember. And okay, so my two flower girls went out of the door from the hotel, then my bridesmaids, and then it was mine and my dad's turn. And honestly, like, I was just excited. I was just like, me and my dad had got the emotional part out of the way, and he was like, right, let's just not fall over. And we just laughed the whole way down the aisle. And it was everything and more. And actually, I forgot that I did this, but one of my friends who was at the wedding said to me, she was like, her favourite part was when I came out of the doors. Apparently, I threw my bouquet in the air and was like, and I actually remember, once you said that, I was like, I actually remember doing that because I was just so excited, like, and I was really in the moment. Everyone before I was like due to get married was like, just enjoy every day, it goes so quick. But honestly, hand on my heart, it didn't go quick. It just was absolutely perfect. Like, it didn't go too quick. I didn't think, God, it's just gone over in a flash. It went the nicest speed, and I think I just literally lived in every single second. Don't get me wrong, now when I look back, things are blurry because I think I was so full of adrenaline and excitement that things are blurry. But then if I really think about it, I know exactly like what sort of happened. So yeah, it was amazing. And so anyway, I walked down the aisle, got to Jake, and he was so emotional, and he told me that he didn't think once he'd cry. He's like, I won't cry, I won't cry. He was telling everyone he wouldn't cry, and everyone was like, he probably will, you know. And I was like thinking, I hope he does, secretly. And he couldn't even like speak when I got to the aisle. His like mouth, like his lip was going as if he was going to cry, because he'd seen his little nieces who were our flower girls, then the bridesmaids, then the music, and then me and my dad. And I just was like holding his hand, like squeezing them, like, it's okay, like, I just was like so excited, and I kept looking at the guests because I wanted to take in every single moment. I wanted to know what they could see, what I could see. And the setting was beautiful. We were in front of the hotel with a fountain just beside us. The guests were all there, and it was just like magic. Like, magical is the only word I can describe it. So after we got married, everyone went into these gardens, and we popped there and like met everyone and just like had a couple of chats. But then we sort of went inside just to cool off because it was really hot. And then me and Jake sat down in this room where there was nobody else, and we just like asked one of the waiters at the hotel if they could bring our welcome drink, not welcome drink, aperitif drink, to us. So we got 2 glasses of Prosecco, and we had our canapes, which everyone was having outside. We sat inside and just had like a few minutes to ourselves, because, well, actually, I think we had like 15 minutes to ourselves. And I think everyone probably thought we were off doing photographs, but we didn't. We just like had them 15 minutes, sat and had a drink together. When we got there, before we ordered and everything, and like that, Jake pulled my chair out and he's like, you look amazing. But I was like, thank God you've said, because I was starting to think you didn't like it. And we laughed because obviously before then he really couldn't get his words out, which was just so nice. So we sat and had our little drink, and then we did a few photographs, and then honestly the time went so quick, and it was time for the dinner. And like, so we started with the speeches. The room where we ate dinner in was honestly incredible. It was beautiful. Our vision came alive, emails came reality. The flowers on the tables were just insane, and everything just was beautiful. Everyone was like wowed. And actually, I've skipped a part, because when we also went inside of the hotel, me and Jake went and had a look at the room, what would sort of set up. I had actually sort of seen it half set up, because that's where we had to come through to walk out down the aisle, but it wasn't finished. So me and Jake went in, and we had a Polaroid guest book, so we took our Polaroid in that moment when we went and checked out the room, and wrote in, please leave like your Polaroid and messages in here. So we'd seen it, because that was one thing I said, I wanted to see the room properly before everybody else had, because I just think it's like we'd planned it all. I wanted to make sure it all was not perfect, because I didn't really mind if anything went wrong. I just was like, well, whatever. But I want to see our vision come to life, and it did that and more. So then we're literally, that was when we went for the drink and stuff. Then everyone else came in the room at about 7 o'clock, and then we did the speeches. So my dad went first, then Jake, and then Jake's best man, Tom. And the speeches was one thing, actually. I was so living in the moment at the time, but when I've watched them back, I remember everything. But it was so nice to actually watch them 3 speeches back and hear it all again, because I could take myself back to that day. My dad's was really emotional because he was so emotional, and it was lovely. He did like a poem. And then Jake's was unreal, and then Tom, Jake's best man, his was fab as well. It was just honestly perfect. Anyway, then we ate dinner. Me and Jake just sat there on the top table with both sets of our parents, and everyone said to me, even though I would have done this, everyone was like, make sure you take a good look around at your guests. And honestly, when I did that, everyone was just like chatting on the tables, and seeing everyone so happy was just the best. And like people were turning around like that were on the sides and like saying the food is amazing, and we were just like, I know, like the food was absolutely unbelievable. But obviously we'd never tried it. We just picked off a menu on an email and went for it. The food was honestly wow. I could actually eat it. I'm really hungry, so I could eat it all now. So it was like 2 little starter things, which was like pasta and like this tart kind of vibe thing, and then steak, and then dessert was amazing as well. Then we kind of were running a little bit late, like 20 minutes out of schedule. And at 10 o'clock it was a open bar downstairs in like a nightclubby bit, and me and Jake were really conscious that we wanted everyone to get the full amount of time, like 10 until 1 a.m. so we were like, right, let's get down there, get like the party started. So I got on the mic and I was like, I just want to let everybody know the nightclub is now open, get down there and let's party. And that actually went really nice pace. It didn't go too quick either. 10 until 1, so that's like what, 3 hours? Yeah, and I remember at like 12 they brought pizzas out because we'd opted for like midnight snack, and there was like pizzas coming, and I said, oh, I had a little bit, even though I was so full. I was like, I just need to try some. And then I was like, please can you make sure the groom definitely gets some, because obviously that was one thing I had to kind of persuade Jake on, which was midnight snack. And really looking back, I don't think we needed that because we ate so late. I don't think we needed the midnight snack, but anyway, it doesn't matter, we did it and the pizza was good. We both had a slice, so that's fine. But like the first dance as well, I've skipped that bit, but the first dance we did not sing, we danced to Forever Young by Jay-Z and Beyonce. But well, I say Beyonce, it wasn't that version, but we loved the live version when they sing it together, but it was actually the Jay-Z and Mr. Hudson version, I think it was. And everyone was like singing it back when we were dancing, and it was, honestly, it was just like, how is this reality? Like, how is this real life? It was like we were living in a dream. And then the music started and it was just fab. We drank the bar out of limoncello. We literally, everyone was just drinking. It was just so fun. I actually stopped drinking at one point. Jake kept bringing me shots and I just was like, I can't drink these. I didn't tell him, I was just like, yeah, and then just kept putting the glasses down because I just didn't want to be super drunk. I just wanted to be like really sort of, I was just so happy. And like I had quite a few drinks, but I was just like such a nice, you know, like state of mind. It was the best. And we just danced all night, and then at the end everyone like didn't want to go. Everyone wasn't ready for it to leave, but we knew it would definitely like stop at 1 a.m. like we knew that there was no like boundaries. We did manage to get the DJ to play one more song, and the girl who was then in charge of the nighttime was quite, I think, mad because her face was so like, it needs to end, and we were just like, one more song. So we did one more song, and then no one wanted to leave, honestly, and everyone was like, Jake, Paige, come out, like let's go out. And I was thinking, if I end up going out after my wedding day, I was like, that would be the worst thing I could ever do. Next day I would have been like, what, like imagine. So honestly, I was like, Jake, let's go to bed before everyone tries to get us to go out. And we didn't. We just went to bed, and we were just both like, what has just happened? And then yeah, that was the end of the wedding day. And it was just, seriously, like, I don't know how to say it, but it was just, everyone's like, it's the best day of your life, but I can't explain how unbelievable it actually was. Everyone was like texting us, like, and when they were leaving the venue and like going home, everyone was like, thank you so much for the most amazing day. And I don't just think people were saying that about the wedding day, I think they said that about like the night before as well, because that was so special that we had like everyone together, and then everyone met up again the next day, obviously for the wedding. My biggest thing was that I wanted everybody to love Florence as much as me and Jake did, because it honestly is, if you ever get the chance to go, seriously, it is insanely beautiful. Like, it's just gorgeous, the most lovely city, so much to do, amazing shops, fab food, just everything. There's just something for everyone. You haven't got to go to really expensive places. You can eat like really cheap and drink really cheap and stuff. But honestly, I just wanted, that's what I said, I was like, I wanted everyone to love Florence as much as we did. And I know they did. Like, everyone was like, want to go back, because people probably weren't really there long enough to do a lot of things. That was more about the wedding, but they did have a mooch around and see the city. But everyone loved Florence as much as we did. Everyone said the venue was just absolutely out of this world, which it really was. Like, we're so lucky, we're so grateful that everyone came. We're so, like, I don't feel like I can even comprehend that we've done it. Like, I'm like, how is it done? How do we never get to do that day again? Like, I mean, I'm going back there every anniversary if Jake will let us. Like, it was just the best. But then I just wanted to quickly touch on one thing now after I've talked all about the wedding, because I don't really think anybody prepares you for the wedding blues. Some people did say like there's wedding blues, but no one really tells you how horrible it actually is. And I don't know, it's really hard to say, and I don't want to leave this video on like a negative, but I just want to touch on the fact that it's so sad when it's over. You feel lost. When you're building up to the wedding, all you can think about is the wedding, as much as, even if you're not thinking about it, you're thinking about it. So I just think if anyone's watching this and they're going to get married, enjoy every second. And even though I did enjoy every second of the build up, my hen party, I had actually 2 hen parties, both hen parties. I enjoyed every moment and lived in the moment, but I don't think anything prepares you for how you feel after, because it's such a high, like genuinely is such a high. Like, especially for me, I've looked forward to my wedding day my whole life and I couldn't wait to get married. It's such a high that actually the come down of it is really hard to deal with. And I don't know, I've felt very like, the word I want to say is unsettled, but I don't really want to use that. I know it is unsettled. That is the word, and it's not because I'm not happy. I'm not still on the highest high I've ever been on. But it's like the come down of like, you've just had the most monumental day of your life, like one of them, you know. It's over. You've been around loads of people for so long. Then me and Jake went on to Venice and Milan. So when we came back, I was probably, when I were in Italy still for like the week after, I still was just processing the wedding, processing. And when I came back, I was like, oh, right. Like, and I don't want to say what now, because I don't feel like, well, what now? I more felt like just flat. Like, that's the only word. But everyone that had been at the wedding also felt the same. So I was so kind of glad in a way that it wasn't just me, but people were like feeling that when we were still in Italy. So I was like, well, I don't feel like that. I still feel flat. I feel flat because the wedding's over, but I don't feel sad. And I think that was honestly because we were still away. But then when we got home, honestly, I have just felt really like, oh. But yeah, and I think that is because it was just so spectacular and so amazing. But yeah, I just hope that gives a little bit more of an insight of how the wedding was and what it was like. And if, like, maybe I'll do like a bridal tips video. I don't know if people want to see that, because obviously I'm trying to end up the wedding content now because it's not for everyone, and also the wedding is done. But maybe I'll do like a bridal tips and advice thing, because everyone was saying things to me before I was getting married, and like the thing of live in the moment on the day. But like I was like, I don't know whether people may think that they did that, but I was like so in the moment, so excited. I didn't feel, apart from on the morning, inch of nerve. Like, it was just the best day of my life, actually, ever. Like, it was insane. And also I think like the best day of like Jake's life, my mum's life, my dad's life. Like, everyone just loved it. Like, I can't even explain. If you were at the wedding and you're watching this, I know you had a good time, and honestly, just keep living on the memories, because I want it to last forever. But yeah, that is my wedding debrief. I really hope you've enjoyed. Like I say, if you think I should do a bridal wedding tip video, I don't know, tell me what you think. But the next videos will be back to normal, like vlogs, and I'm gonna try, I'm scared to say this, but I want to try and do more like daily vlog style, but I'm not sure how people feel about that, because it'll be shorter videos but more of them. Let's see how that goes.